All right. Let's jump to the North Node in the 6th house and the South Node in the 12th house. The 6th house. So the 6th house is Virgo's natural house, and I find the image of Virgo very interesting. There's this kind of myth where, Virgo is on a boat delivering. She has the wheat in one hand and the medicine in the other hand, and it reminds me of my grandmother, who is such a wonderful woman and servant to her family, and servant in the highest form, where she saw her duties as a sacred journey, and I don't know, I have a love for that. And then we have the 12th house, which is the house of the connection with the divine, which is, and we all kind of fundamentally know through kind of messages of spirituality and religion, it's like, how do we move forward in life and connect with the ultimate truth, which is really the death or the emergence back to God. And so there's, and there's this idea of sacrifice that's required to achieve this, right? And I think the sacrifice is linked to the emerging truth, in which, we watch in older people, as we get older, we start to realize how, why do we go to older people for inspiration at times? And it's kind of like, because they've left, it's because the truth has delivered them in a way where they fundamentally know essentially what really matters as they get older. I mean, obviously not everyone, but so there's a sense of emerging truth that delivers us, but requires sacrifice of the older beliefs about God, or the older beliefs about what truly matters in life. And so this archetype is super interesting. So we have the North Node in the North Node in the 6th house, and then we have the South Node in the 12th house, which is so here we have someone who maybe is really entered this life, and in the end run, where they have the culmination of, in some ways, well, maybe not the end run, but the culmination of this connection with God, and they're it's their first part of their life is constantly being, pursuing this ever emerging truth, which is of course elusive because we're still young and we don't really understand, even though we might have a wisdom, or we might have a connection with God, but it's somehow vaguely unsatisfying because it's unlived, because it actually hasn't been proven through the house of Virgo, which is, how do we take these gifts and spiritual things that we carry with us, and how do we serve humanity? And that's where we're needing to take that spiritual energy and apply it in a practical way as Virgo. Whereas, how can we take what the ultimate meaning is and serve our family or serve humanity, and how can we be purified? Because Virgo is purified. Her intentions have been purified to serve humanity, right? So, these people, we're actually essentially being purified, and we're developing skills to apply a practical dissemination of the right order of things in the world. And so that's a deep thought, but it's and so these people are human. They're meant to be divine servants, versus the lower manifestations of the South Node might be also that one is escaping life and refusing to give birth to themselves, because they're so stuck in the prenatal state, which is the time of the womb, right? And the Pisces house is also pre-birth, and so there's a sense of otherworldliness to these people, which is a beautiful thing. But they're to give birth in a practical way to humanity, and a lot of if they choose to actually invoke the energy of the 6th house and feed the 12th house, they'll find much deeper meaning when they find a place, when they're guided by the spirit to serve humanity in a very, very precise and very needed way. And so, yeah, that's the North Node and the 6th, and the South Node and the 12th.